Hey guys, this is Marie and I'm back with another video, and this video is going to be how to tell if your hermit crabs are active. So let's get started. So in this video I will be showing you and talking to you a little bit about how to tell if they're active and not active. So here we go. So as you guys can see here, this is my 20-gallon long tank, and this is what it looks like after 2 days of me cleaning out the tank and putting everything back nice and neat and cleaning up everything for the hermit crabs. Now as you guys can tell, my hermit crabs have been very active because the substrate has been moved and a couple other things been moved, and I will go more into detail of how to tell step by step if they're active or not. Now I'm going to go ahead and insert a picture of what my tank looked like when I first cleaned it out and put everything back in nice and neat. Now if you guys didn't know anything about me like that, I am a very neat and OCD person, so even my hermit crab tank is very neat. I do get comments all the time that my hermit crab tank is very neat, and that is the reason why. It's because I am OCD and I like everything nice and neat and clean, even if it's my hermit crab tank. So as you guys will see in the picture, this is what it will look like when the hermit crab's tank is nice and clean and neat. And then after a couple of days, this is what it looks like after they've been roaming around, climbing, or digging. So now I'm going to go more into detail of 5 ways to tell your hermit crabs are very active. So the first thing I'm going to talk about will be your substrate. Now you can use anything kind of substrate. You can use your sand, you can use equal earth, or you can use both, or either or. And I have just equal earth and just a little bit of sand in here. Now when I do my tank, I usually flatten out the substrate of the equal earth and I make it nice and neat and flat. Usually it looks like this when I get done. And after 2 days, this is what it looks like when the hermit crabs are digging or just roaming around. So this is one way that you guys can tell if your hermit crabs are active in the daytime or nighttime, is if your substrate is usually about piled up like this with holes, or if it's just moved around and stuff like that. That is one way that you guys can tell. Now back there in the corner, you can tell is nice and neat, so you can probably tell they haven't been usually around that area, but they've been usually around this area a little bit more. But this is what it looks like when the tank is nice and neat, and this is what it looks like when they are moving around and climbing or walking or even digging. So that is one way you guys can tell if your hermit crabs are active. Now moving on to the second thing is your food bowl. Now when I put food in my hermit crab dish, I usually put it in there a certain way. So if the hermit crabs go in there and it's moved around, or if it's moved around or in a certain direction, then you can tell if your hermit crabs have been in there and been active and eating the food. So usually I have the hermit crab food usually more in the middle, tucked in a little bit more, and it's usually a little bit more drier. But right now, since it's nice and moist in here, it's a little wet, and it has been moved. As you guys can see, there's more on this side and a little less on this side. So that is another way you can tell if your hermit crabs are active. Now moving on to the third way will be your water dishes. Now when I clean out my water dishes, I usually wipe them out, clean them out with hot water, and put the new fresh water and salt water inside. Now within the 2 days, this is what it looks like after the hermit crabs have been in there. So this is another way that you guys can tell if your hermit crab's been active and using the water, is if it's dirty and there's actually dirt inside or sand inside or anything like that. This is what it looks like. So this is actually what it looks like when hermit crabs have been active and been actually using the water, either drinking it or taking a bath inside. Now the fourth way of telling how to tell if your hermit crabs are active are the plants. Now back there in the plants, usually I have them more up. This one is usually more up in the middle, and then this one is usually just stood right here. Now the way you could tell is, I'm going to go ahead and lift the lid up. The way you could tell if this has been moved, if these leaves can actually move around a lot. So if they've been climbing or hanging on these leaves, they can be pushed over here, or they can be moved over here, or the whole plant can be a little bit moved. So that is one way you can tell if your hermit crabs are active. And then this plant is usually above like right here. So if they've been climbing or walking around on this plant, if it been pushed back or more on the sides, then I can tell if the hermit crabs have been active really well. So that will be another way of telling. Now the fifth and final way to tell if your hermit crab has been active is if they've been going inside of your hideaways. Now here's one hideaway over here, and then of course my cave right here is another hideaway. And usually when I clean out the tank, I usually completely clean out this on top and bottom and inside. Now you can tell there's a little bit of dirt all over the place on this cave, so this is a way of telling that your hermit crab has been active. If you see dirt or even their poop or something like that on here, I have also seen, so that is another way to tell if your hermit crabs are active. Also in here, if the moss has been moved around or taken out of it a little bit, then that's another way for your hermit crabs. You can tell that your hermit crabs have been active. So that is 5 ways of telling that your hermit crabs are active. And I hope this is a good video for you guys to learn, and this will help you guys in the future if you guys can tell if your hermit crabs are active or not. So please give this video a big thumbs up, comment down below, and definitely don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more. Until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!